Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Miss P, and I am back on this YouTube thing. Yes, I did go missing for a little bit, but life always hits in different ways. But this time, I got some stories for you. Like, share, and subscribe. Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Miss P, and of course, I have a story for you. This story is about Lizard, and I'm going to tell you how he got that name as well, etc. Okay. His real name is Dave. I met him when I was inside of one of those adult groups on Facebook, and it wasn't the lifestyle groups. It was 35 and up and all that kind of stuff. But I was allowed to be inside of this group because of my spirit. My spirit is old, okay? I am an elderly woman on the inside, okay? So, because I could hang with the best of them, the seasons, I was allowed to stay inside the group. I was cute. I was adorable. I was the youngest one. I was a young, hot tenderoni, okay? Well, I met him at one of the cook-offs that we had at one of these big old, houses that they rented out for one of the events. And he was this older dude, goofy. I didn't realize how old he was until after we started hanging out. And he introduced me to a lot of different artsy-fartsy spectrums. Now, me, I'm artsy-fartsy. I consider artsy-fartsy as, sometimes I'm into the rocks and the sage and I write poems. I sing, and I love art. I paint as well. I color, that spoken word, all of that, what I consider artsy-fartsy, I am into. And he was deeply into it. I think if I had to use the terms of the now of what to describe him as, it would be the pro-black woke group, but he's not so emphasized to the point where it's like, what? I don't know how to explain it, because this nowadays woke stuff, I'm confused, but I know I'm black, and that's all that matters. Anyways, I just went left a little bit. Anywho, well, I met him, and he introduced me to a lot of new things that was along that line. And he actually took me to one of those, rock, stone, spirit, places where, this stone is for that, and this is the healing stone and your third eye, and, showed me documentaries about, Egypt and ancestors and, pretty cool things that, I guess I should know as a black person, but I've never really just been into, because it's like I have to focus. I'm one of those, I focus on the now and I appreciate the past. And so he, introduced me to things like that. And he was also the gentleman that was in the lesbian failure story. Okay. He was who I was with, hanging out with and stuff like that. Well, me and Lizard decided to hang out one time at his apartment, and he was a massage therapist at the time. And yeah, some of those stereotypes about them is true, and one thing led to another. We dibbled and we dabbled, and he ended up with the name Lizard because I have to be honest, because I am with you guys, he was my biggest, which was 11. Okay? And it was measured, so it is factual, no fictions here, And I took it like a G. It was hardcore, but I took it like a G, and it was a beautiful, friends with benefits thing for me and my wild side, okay? That's how Lizard got the name Lizard. Well, hung out with him, and he became a staple in my world because he was a good friend. He cared about my health. He cared about my adventure to bounce back. Because I met Lizard around the time I was bouncing back from my disability itself. I was in the search of friends. Of course, what friends I may have had, graduating, they were no longer existent. So after the 4 years of me being isolated, I managed to get into these groups and developed friendships with older people, and he was one of the many. And he was just such a cool person, and I could talk to him about anything, but he didn't treat me as if I was younger than him. So when I met Lizard, I was, let's be right, I was 19. No, 20. I was 20. I got into the group when I was 19, but I couldn't tell nobody. I met Lizard when I was 20. He was in his 40s already. So there was a big gap. It wasn't even a gap. It was a whole freeway in between us. Okay? So I'm like, I don't see how we had so much in common, but we did. And the conversations were dope, fun, life. It was off the chain. And so I just so happened to meet him, and he became a really good friend for me. And I was introduced to him more than once, actually, because we kind of fell off for a little bit. Sorry for my pausing. We fell off a little bit because I ended up meeting other people within the group and hanging out with them. But we always kept in touch, but we didn't hang out as much. And so we decided to hang out again, and we rekindled our friendship. And he had to move back to Port Arthur, where he's originally from. So we haven't been able to hang out recently or anything. But I miss my friend, and I just decided to do a story about him because, for one, like I say, he was a staple in my world. He helped me build back my confidence. He helped me bounce back from not having any friends at all to being more adventurous, more outgoing, risk-taking, fun. I went to a folk club. I've never been there before, and it was pretty cool. It was like a very mixed, diverse crowd, which is something that I would prefer. I don't know how to say this without it sounded really bad. In certain clubs and venues I don't go to, even though I'm African American. Boom. And he introduced me to a very diverse world of partying where I felt comfortable because of how I am sometimes. And I have to be honest about it, because I'm one of those people. I'm not bougie, I'm not uppity. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I just don't party around certain people, because I think I partied around a certain type of people when I was younger, because I looked older, and we went with her mom damn near everywhere. So those kind of partying days was over with. And then my high school had its own type of club too, so I did what I needed to do in those kind of spaces. So I kind of wanted elevation from those kind of spaces to more diverse scene, where I could be everywhere and meet literally different type of people. And he introduced me to those worlds, and I think that's kind of why me and my best friend is able to be best friends now, me and my homegirl, because we're different races, but I know how to communicate and talk, and we find places that are just like that, and I feel so comfortable, and we have a blast. And I think he is the one that introduced me to such a diverse world of partying, because I wouldn't have found it on my own. And so he also introduced me to just understanding my value to a certain extent at that time, because you increase in value as you go on with life, I believe. And I don't say decrease regardless of what you do. You increase because when you learn from it, 9 times out of 10, you're not doing it again. So you increase from that downfall, I guess you could say. And so, yeah, he taught me my value within that phase of my life. And it basically made me a little bit of who I am today as far as my demeanor towards myself. And I appreciate that because I didn't have it at first. I didn't really know where I was headed or going when I put myself back out there to try to make friends. And I'm glad I befriended him, and I'm glad he was willing to befriend me with me having my situation, because that was another thing that kind of deterred me from trying to befriend people, because I have a disability and I don't want nobody treating me any different. I don't like pity parties. I don't want charity. I don't want, I just, if I have my moment, don't be like, well, to hell with you, call the, ambulance and stuff like that. But don't babyfy me. And he didn't do that. He made sure I was okay, but he made sure you do live to your best. And I appreciated that, because in all my friendships, I expect that. I don't want nobody feeling like they babysitting me or nothing like that. I just want fun. You are my friend, and that's it. Like, the concern should be there, because if you're my friend, I love you, you love me. I'll make sure you straight, make sure I'm straight. Mine is a little bit straighter on a certain extent because I do have the disability. But treat me normal. I am normal. I am human. And so, yeah, I really appreciate that friendship for what it was. And just, making sure I keep up on my stories. And, of course, as I think of other people that have impacted my life, been a part of my life, whether good or bad, they'll go on here just because, make it relevant for a few moments, as well as I've improved from it, and I'm proud of it, because look at where I'm at today. I'm able to talk about it and just be okay and content. Well, like I always say, God bless your heart and all your parts. Like, share, subscribe. Bye.